MF Doom, a person I feel like needs no introduction. If you have been a fan of hip hop or music in general, you have heard the name. Maybe it was the music, the mask, the references, the sneakers your favorite celebrity are wearing, your favorite artist mentioned him, or maybe his unfortunate death. And if you clicked on this video, I have a feeling you're aware of who this guy is. With a catalog so amazing only artists can dream of, Doom has been making great music since the late 90s all the way up until his passing. But there are two albums people will remember him by, because they're his most popular releases. Food and Madvillainy. Now, Madvillainy has always been discussed as his best work, his magnum opus, and always gets ranked highly on every single best rap album list I can find, and being praised by some of your favorite artists. But for me, I always felt somewhat indifferent to it. I thought it should be the other way around. But when I found out that very few people thought so too, I was genuinely surprised. In my head, I was like, am I crazy? Am I okay? Am I the tweaker that they mentioned in that one Jello song? So when I shared this revelation with my fellow Doom fans, aka my friends, I got immediately shut down with a, yeah, nice one bro, and this guy thinks he's so unique. So after getting shut down harder than the Xbox Red Ring of Death, I decided, let me see online if someone thinks the same way I do. And what I found out shocked me. Pretty much no one thought like that. I couldn't believe it. Feeling the way I am, a little bit frustrated, I decided as a fellow 21st century Zoomer, I needed to make a video on this. And that is how, exactly 1 year ago, and some change, I made why food is better than Madvillainy. And that video was bad. Not that the title, thumbnail, or editing was bad, it's just everything I said was bad. It didn't really explain why food is better than Madvillainy. It was just a diss towards Madvillainy. The title could easily just said why Madvillainy is bad. It would mean the exact same thing. Bringing someone down doesn't mean you lift yourself up, is the best way I think I can describe it. Even after the upload, I knew that I didn't do a good job explaining what I meant and sharing my opinion in a fair way. And you know, that was my first video, so I feel like I should be cut some slack for it. And the comments for that video were mixed. Some people felt that I finally spoke up for the truth and that was the one ready to push the agenda on the greatest Doom album ever. And some people said that was just objectively wrong. But the comment that stuck out to me most was this one, which is exactly how I felt. So trying to make things right, making a part 2 of this video wouldn't make sense in my eyes, because it will be exactly the same thing as before. So instead of having this debate, I would just go and talk about this album, telling you all the things I like about it, and by the end, you can form your own opinion. Now let's start with this album is the most album I have ever heard. I think that would be the easiest way I can describe it. Look, I listened to a lot of albums in my years, from rock to pop to hip hop, EDM, country, dancehall, and everything you can imagine. This is the one, and it's not even close. And some of you may think that a hip hop album can be the most creative when the genre is filled with repetitive beats, repetitive flows, uninteresting rhymes, lame ass antics, cloud chasing, and many more stupid shit. But that doesn't mean it's all bad. I mean, would it be one of the most popular genres if it was all unlistenable? Hip hop, especially old school boom bap raps, have been a laughingstock for quite some time, dominated by the same topics, trash ass beats, and the lyrical, spiritual, miracle ass rappers that have been accumulated by the internet for almost a decade.
What is this?
So that's where Doom takes place, because he still talks about the same topics, but the way they are supposed to be, with production being chef's kiss, lyrically insanely entertaining, flows gorgeous, his words, not mine, and mixing, structure, and overall completion, amazing. The beats created by the Metal Fingers have not been talked enough. I mean, I'm probably gonna get copyrighted if I play them, so just listen to any of them and you'll see what I mean. He was the one behind most of the production on this album, so just to let you know, he wasn't lying in this song. But the most interesting thing about Doom is his lyrical content, and in this album, he goes all out. All hits, no misses. This is what Doom is most praised for, and in my opinion, he was one of the best writers of all time.
His flow, I have to be careful with his flow because his flow lives in my mind and like in my heart. I can almost get into his mind in terms of how he writes.
Unlike what the title says, this album is not all about food. Doom uses food as a metaphor towards the topic he wants to discuss in a song. Like in the song Beef Rap, where he talks about how rappers use disses or drama to spike up sales and attention toward themselves instead of just making good music. Focusing on better productions, lyrics, and making catchier songs, you decide to spark up conflict to keep your name in people's mouths, and for him, he doesn't respect that. And I love the opening of the third verse in this song where he said,
"What up to all rappers, shut up with your shutting up and keep a shirt on, at least a button up. Yuck,
Rappers, they rhymers are stripping males. Out of work jerks since they shut down Chippendales.
And when I heard this line first, I thought it was a diss towards Lil Wayne, as to me, he was the shirtless rapper he was mostly talking about. But after further research, it was about 50 Cent, which about that time was the release of his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, as he was posted up shirtless on the cover, saying that on the last line, as Chippendales is a male dance group, comparing rappers to softcore strippers. But don't take my word for it, here's what the masked MC has to say for himself about the song. Oh yeah, beef rap, good song, good choice. I just think it's a funny word. I don't get angry at this point, so rap beef is like whatever. The challenge is what it's about with me. The challenge of being such a picky topic to handle. Also, the double entendre with the word beef, the way it's perceived in the street world, and its food, so-called food how it's perceived in the nutritional realm. The fact that there's two things that can correlate there gave me enough metaphors to play with. But it's all fun. Always do it with something that's fun. Anger is something I don't deal with. Now let's switch the focus for the humor aspect of this album. This album is filled with funny rhymes, after funny lines, after funny times. As you saw by the Doom memes, there are a lot of jokes that he says in his music. And there is no better example than the song One Beer. Starting off the song with this drunken interpolation of the 1934 song I Get a Kick Out of You by Cole Porter. And then starting his verse off with a diss towards, at the time, crunk music, which was very loud at that point, with guys like Lil Jon making the waves across the scene. Later on we find this towards detectives or police trying to find him or catch him, saying that they're eating watermelons, how they be finding new seeds or trails just so they could pin something towards him. And more funny lines like,
Probably still be speaking in rhymes as an old fart.
motherfucker gonna be talking like a killer bee.
I'm in the midst of my rhymes, y'all is busting my time, and now I gotta spit my line, fools, you fools.
How is only one left? The pack coming 6. Whatever happened to 2 and 3? A herb tried to slide with 4 and 5 and got caught. Like, what you doing, G?
Herb is a slang term used on a person who isn't with it, that is mostly used in New York. And the 4-fire line could be used as a reference towards a gun, but as Doom said, he doesn't use it, so he gets caught.
Looser than a pair of Adidas. I hope you bought your spare tweeters. MCs sound like cheerleaders.
This is where I wish rappers take notes. If you're gonna be on that flipping it, dipping it, skipping it, at least make it funny.
You do it for the smelly hubbies. Seems know what time it is, like it's time for Teletubbies.
Motherfucker really like D.
Take it from the dude who wear a mask like a tarted helmet. Like the doobie till it glow like a ruby. After which they couldn't find the villain like Scooby.
And I'd have succeeded if it weren't for those meddling kids.
Hey, you hungry home invader! Stop reading on the refrigerator!
You get it by now. Now I want to talk about the 5th song on the album, called Deep Fried Frenz. And it is, lyrically, one of the darkest songs I ever heard. Now if you heard this song before, you might think there's not much to talk about. But if you go and look at it more deeply, you can see that this is one of the darkest and saddest Doom songs ever. Doom starts the song off with a sample of the 1984 song Friends by Houdini. And the first thing he says is,
As you call them, they call you when they need something.
right off the bat, letting you know that he isn't very fond of friendships, as a normal person may be. Continuing songs with lyrics like,
I found a way to get peace of mind for years and left the hell alone. Turn a deaf ear to the cellular phone.
speaking on the 5 years he was basically homeless after the death of his little brother and being dropped from his record label.
At least so you can see the white of their eyes. Bright with surprise once they finish spitting lies. Mom, dad, comrade, peeps, brothers, sisters, duns, dunnies. Some come around when they need some money. Read the signs, no feeding the baboon. Seeing as how they got your back bleeding from the stab wound. Never let your so-called mans know your plan.
These lyrics are clear that Doom experienced a lot of betrayal in his life, mostly from his friends, and that is why he keeps a low profile and never likes to open up too much. Even in the middle of the song, he said that he went through the dictionary to see the meaning of friends. And the conclusion he got is that even though friends are meant to help each other, he only sees that as a one-way streak, and that they want you to help them, but not the other way around. So in his mind, it's just better to cut them off. And in the last 16 bars, saying that one thing that may happen in his life was that he witnessed snitching in his group, and that he doesn't support it. In his own words, he said he'd rather go out in the flame than give him the glory. Basically saying he's not really fond of snitching, like most rappers aren't. And in the last 8 bars is his relationship with women, talking about a singular woman that Doom is having intercourse with, and it's clear that this girl is wanting more from him, but Doom can't bring himself to tie the knot, saying,
We need to have some type of understanding, just so when I let her get the man thing, she know it's no strings. We could do the damn thing, but ho, it's no rings. Just how the tramp swings.
and these double lines saying that the girl wants to get married, but Doom just wants sex. Even in the last line, which it could be a reference towards intercourse, it could be a double meaning with backstabbing, as he so often experiences. This song is the most interesting song on the album, because it goes a lot deeper into real life shit than most of his songs. And after you read the lyrics, you're gonna look at this song completely differently. Even though Daniel is a married man with kids, Doom is a supervillain with a plan to take your girl and take over the world. But in this song, that separation gets more and more blurry, showing you a few lines here and there that might be true, but it feels like you never know what's real and what's not. Because if you listen to this song, the things he's saying don't feel like they come from fiction. I feel like he's experienced some of these things he's talking about, but he's using the character as a way to sell it better, or just hide his struggles better in his own sort of way. Even in his song Con Carne is the same thing I'm talking about. Even though this is your classical Doom song, there are a couple lyrics dedicated to his younger brother, and when he said them, it's like he's holding back tears every time there's a line towards his brother. Even after almost a decade after his passing, it still affects him deeply. Maybe that's why he didn't talk about it much throughout his career. This album still holds a special place in my heart because I think this is the best hip hop album we have, and me calling it underrated means that I think more people should talk about it. That video I made before was an attempt to stem the conversation in a direction I feel is fit. In a conversation of the greatest rap album of all time, Madvillainy has always appeared and mentioned as Daniel's best work. But do I hate that album? No. I feel like it's great with a lot of great songs, and it's grimy and dark, which old school hip hop fans adore, but to me, it's nowhere near creative, funny, put together, lyrically, production wise, close to what Food has to offer. So on topic of the greatest rap album, you always see projects like To Pimp a Butterfly, Illmatic, The Blueprint, Get Rich or Die Trying, Doggy Style. This album should be in that discussion. Doom will always be one of my favorite artists, not because of his music, production, lyrics, or anything like that. He's an artist that said no to the traditional way of hip hop and decided to make his own path and legacy to whatever he feels is right. And that's what I like about music. If it feels genuine and passionate, it feels right. In an industry so focused on numbers, sales, image, product, etc., he decided, fuck that, I'm gonna rap about food and superheroes, and made some of the best music that has ever graced my ears. With such depth, such good production, such great features, amazing stories, funny as fuck bars, versatility bigger than the failure of the Snow White movie. But most importantly, it stood the test of time. After 20 years of its release, it's still fresh in the ears, and it feels like it could have been released today and it would do great. Now if you haven't listened to this album and you made it this far into the video, I know you're gonna like it if you give it a chance. An album filled with bangers. It's really hard to pick my favorite. It changes a lot, but for now I'll say Vomit Spit, but that might be changed for the future. And of course you got the mega smash hit Rap Snitch Knishes, which I think is the most streamed Doom song. So yeah, that's where I think I'll wrap it up. Rest in peace to MF Doom. I'm Spaceman Dino. Hope you enjoyed.
Do you like MF Doom?
No, I don't know what the fuck that is.
What? What? No. Search Rap Snitches.
Nah, that's not even that cool.